You're watching the Atlanta Braves Fan Show on Fan Media Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardie, her, and Gardie. We are now 2 weeks post All-Star game. We are now post All-Star break. Dog days of summer ending. It is July 30th today, August 1st. In just 2 days, we can start to have, those way too early overreactions that we were having. They're now just regular reactions. And we got to talk right away, going off the Braves coming off of an All-Star break. Not great, not terrible. 4-3, picking up 2 of 3 against the Anaheim Angels at home before dropping 2 of 3 to those pesky fighting Phils up in Philadelphia. However, picking up 1 win in game 1 of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 2 tonight at 7:20 at Truist Park. But Gardie, we kind of talked about this again. 4-3 are those Atlanta Braves here, sitting kind of pretty in terms of wild card position. Up, I believe 6.5 games in the NL wild card picture. But again, 4 back in the loss column, 3 back total on the Mets. Gardie, we're now, again, as we said, dog days of the season are kind of over. We're now in August. These games and this where they finish could mean a lot. Your thoughts?
It means a hell of a lot. To quote Robin Williams from Good Morning Vietnam, it's hot, damn hot, real hot. We're dog days of summer. We're toughing it out right now, and it's not a bad thing in my opinion that they're starting a little slow coming out of the All-Star break. I think honestly, if I was looking at this as a Braves fan, which I am, because this is a fan show brought to you by Fan Media Network.
Nice plug. Nice plug.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have 9 games between now and August 18th that we are playing directly against the New York Mets. We have a 5-game stint in Citi Field, and we have a 4-game stint in Truist Park. So I'd rather get slow now and stay hot for them. At the same time, though, the people that you need to be producing are producing. Max Fried is killing it. Kyle Wright is killing it. Michael Harris killing it. Austin Riley, 3 hundo.
That's a
3
superstar.
bills.
Superstar.
Pay him all the monies. Matt Olson doing well too. And for everything that people want to say about Matt Olson, he's filling Freddie Freeman's shoes. And not that it is Derek Jeter level of like, oh, who's going to play shortstop for the New York Yankees? They are pretty big shoes to fill. Freddie Freeman was the first baseman of the Atlanta Braves for a decade.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin Riley hitting 500 after the All-Star break here. Again, a bona fide superstar now. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs in 7 games. Michael Harris coming out with those beautiful golden cleats with, basically looking like PF Flyers, running faster, jumping higher, 333 post All-Star break, a home run, and 4 RBIs. But as you mentioned, Gardie, 9 games coming up, including a day-night doubleheader in the series next week. And back to, as we mentioned earlier, 9 inning day-night doubleheader first games. So as you mentioned, but though this has major implications now, the MLB expanding their playoffs to 6 teams, not just the original 5, and a best of 3 wild card series. As it sits right now, the Braves in 4th place, as they will seed teams. The 3 division winners will be 1, 2, 3. The wild card will be 4, 5, 6. The top 2 get a bye. Right now, on record alone, on paper, if the season were to end today, the Braves are the number 4 seed. However, they would have to play San Diego, a very, very talented lineup in San Diego. Granted, they would have, the higher seed, so they would be in Truist Park as the high seed. But again, if they can flip-flop places with the Mets, they move to a 2 seed. The Braves are 3 games better right now than the Milwaukee Brewers, the Central Division leaders. So, Gardie, again, kind of going back to this point, right? We talked about these 9 games, and you're 4 in the loss column back, only 3 back of the Mets here. These games are huge. And I think personally, these games are going to determine who gets one of these teams is going to get a bye. And one of these teams is going to have to play a San Diego Padres team that is certainly filled and pissed off, considering they are a very good team who are trying to chase down a red-hot LA Dodgers in their division. But Gardie, again, these games, I think these games mean the season. What about you?
I mean, there's a reason why we put on the batting helmet. I'm ready to, sign me 10-day contract. I'll go just choke pitches. I'll stand over the plate. I'll stand in front of the catcher if that's what it takes. But they are huge because you don't want to play Slam Diego. The Mets and the Braves are like what you said. It's perfect. This is going to determine the outcome of the season because the expanded playoff format, not only is it about the buys, it's about number of games. It's about wear and tear. You're already playing 162 games in a regular season, then you got to go play extra. It's the same thing in any sport. You don't want to play extra games. So having to maybe play a 3-game series against a very good, very young San Diego team, it's just not what you want to start with. And I understand, like, to what you just said about the Milwaukee Brewers being the NL Central leaders, that is something that kind of, it's a little quirky about sports, but why are we doing it? Like, I think it should be best record. And maybe that's me.
I don't know. We could go back and forth on this, and obviously, I think the MLB and Rob Manfred, and we can go on and on and on about his decision-making process. Considering there's still not a deal on the international draft, there is still issues regarding the MILB, the minor league baseball contracts and payments from COVID. But I think at the end of the day, I see both sides of this. In all honesty, I think that you don't want to downplay a division, and you don't want a loaded NL West to have the top 3 seeds, because then, if you win the NL East, then what's the point of winning the NL East? So I see that point. If we were defending Rob Manfred, I can't believe I'm doing that live on this show. But I do see that point of, what, they want divisions to matter. They don't want it to be like the NBA where winning a division means nothing. And, having that, we're the Central Division champion, meaning they want that to mean something. And they want to reward teams for winning a division and for taking care of business in their own backyard. So again, these 9 games, critically important. However, as we talked about the Braves, 2 more games tonight at Truist Park, 2 games against those Fightin' Phils in a quick little turnaround at Truist Park Tuesday and Wednesday before going up to New York and Citi Field for 5 games against those New York Mets. And then again, finishing that road trip, 2 against Boston midweek, 4 against the Marlins, and hosting the Mets and the Astros. So, if we're talking about schedule here, Gardie, the Braves got one here. And this is going to be, again, we've talked about the Braves' MO of beating teams that, maybe they shouldn't be beating. Yep. This is where you need that to come true.
100%. You need them, and also you need them to beat the Phillies. You need them to beat the Red Sox. Like you said, both those are 2-game series, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Those are 4 games that you have to walk out with 4 W's because the Phillies are not a great ball club. They have a very bad bullpen. They don't have Bryce Harper. Schwarber, yes, he hits a lot of ding dongs, but he doesn't hit anything else. And the Red Sox apparently don't know how to field anymore. So those are games that you need to win, because that's what, if you want to look at an omen for success in the postseason, it's beating opponents you should beat, which I've said a million times on this show already, but it is the truth. Because if you are a good team, you are good always. So if you want, like, I would be happy, very happy. They could split with the Mets. If they walk out with those 4 games, I'm happy, because at the end of the day, too, it's what I said to you last show. The Mets have to play other opponents and they're going to lose. So if we're winning when they're losing, that matters just as much.
Yep. Again, looking ahead here, obviously finishing up the series with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks, an under 500 team. The Phillies, those games matter to them because they're trying to catch the Atlanta Braves. They are currently tied with the St. Louis Cardinals for that last playoff spot, currently in the wild card right now, which would pit them against those Milwaukee Brewers, who are currently sitting in the 3 seed. And certainly several games back on the New York Mets and the LA Dodgers, because I think personally the Dodgers are running away with the NL. The Yankees and the Astros are pretty much running away with the American League. So those are really going to be your teams that I can say definitively today, signed, sealed, delivered, are going to get first round buys. So I think the Yankees and the Astros, considering the Astros are 12 games up on the Minnesota Twins and the Yankees are 14 games up on the Minnesota Twins, I think that there's certainly enough breathing room on the buy side for them. The LA Dodgers right now, 12 games up on the Milwaukee Brewers from first to third right now in the division. But again, even Milwaukee's got a little bit of a challenge with St. Louis breathing down their neck, only 3 games back. But we talked about it, again, the Phillies barely above 500, very banged up. The Diamondbacks currently below 500. The Boston Red Sox below 500. The Marlins below 500, right? Like, these are games against teams you need to win. And then you need to go out and beat teams like you can pick up 9 wins against the Mets, but then you can't drop 3 to the Astros and 2 to the Red Sox and 2 to the Phillies.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, you need to live up to your MO. The Braves need to live up to their MO here of beating teams that they shouldn't really be in the game with, because they've done it with the Dodgers. They've done it and shown that they can do it with San Diego. I know last series against San Diego post All-Star break, San Diego took 2 out of 3 against the Braves. But this next 3 weeks, I think, decides the Braves season. And if they find a way to somehow lose 9 games against the Mets, we might not even be having this conversation in 2 weeks of, let alone playoffs. We might be talking about, we rather than playing for a bye, we're talking about playoffs. We can't win a damn game.
And it's confusing, and I think the real impactful part about that too is because of how this falls with the trade deadline, where the Braves sit with that. As you mentioned pre-show, they're not heavy buyers.
Yeah, I don't see who they buy. I don't see who they sell. I think right now the team that you see, maybe you get 1 or 2 changes just to add some depth. Like, I know you and I both talked about maybe just adding an extra arm in the bullpen, although Spencer Strider, AJ Minter, your boy, Kenley Jansen are having very good years. I think just maybe adding that extra arm, that extra depth arm, who can also go as a long reliever, like 5th, 6th starter as a maintenance day. Like, that's the only person I could see you adding to this roster. 100%. I think the lineup is pretty much what it's going to be. Hopefully Robbie Cano has like a Jock the Glock. Robbie Cano, don't you know, has like a Jock the Glock resurgence.
Yep.
But only time will tell. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And I think, this time next week, when we're recording our next show, I think we could be seeing, we could be sitting here sitting pretty going, they beat the Mets in 5 straight, or, they won 4 of 5 against the Mets. They're now in first place in the division, sitting in 2nd place. They're in the driver's seat, so on and so forth. But only time will tell. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see going forward. But as we mentioned, Gardie, as you know, right? We're a fan show. We got the rally helmet because it's a fan show. It's that time of year where we got the rally bucket going, because we need the rally bucket to finish this. And we want to hear from you, fans. We need to hear from you. This is the time of year, probably the biggest time of the schedule. And you know us, we don't say that very often. We actually mean it when we say it. We don't say every week is the biggest week.
Nope.
We want to hear from you, whether you're at home, on the road, in Truist Park, out of Truist Park. Gardie and I are going to try to be live for one of those Mets series, just to try to catch one of these games for our beloved Tomahawks. But
I'll wear the helmet in the stadium.
We'll be wearing the helmet in the stadium. We'll be having the powder blue on, because you know what? Throwback is still in, and we're going to be there, hooting and hollering for those Tomahawks. And we want to hear some stories about you guys hooting and hollering for the Tomahawks as well. But thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Atlanta Braves Fan Show on Fan Media Network.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic and team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre- and post-production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.